Good afternoon. Governor Kathy Hochul here with my partners in government, our County Executive Mark Polenkars and Mayor Byron Brown. We have been through a lot of wars together, and this blizzard is the one for the ages. Certainly it is the blizzard of the century. And we are here to talk about our collaborative approach to dealing with this crisis, and it is a crisis, as well as joined by our incredible teams. I'll be introducing our representatives from the state who've joined me here. We spent Christmas in downtown Buffalo in a hotel yesterday, and I appreciate everyone, all the first responders and the National Guard who are here, all our local police and fire professionals for sacrificing the time away from their families so we can keep your families safe. I'm joined by Commissioner of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, Jackie Bray, and the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation, Marie-Therese Dominguez, as well as our Police Superintendent, Western New York Zone, Steve Nigrelli. I did have a chance to go out around the city this morning and survey some of the sites, and mostly to thank people. I was at the Buffalo Police Garage talking to the team of police department officials and their SWAT team, as well as our state police, and talk about how they have been out there, talking to them personally about their experiences, going into homes, going into vehicles, and too many tragic times finding people who did not survive the experience. And I want them to know that we know that it's difficult work to do. And they're grieving inside, as we all are, for the families who are getting the horrible, heartbreaking news that their loved ones succumbed to the storm over the last day or two. And our hearts are breaking for them. And we'll be there to support their families and get them through this, but also the people who are the ones who find their loved ones. It does take a toll. And I wanted these people, as tough as I know they are, to know that we need to make sure that they can handle the circumstances they're in, because none of them ever thought that this is what they'd be doing on their Christmas holiday either. So I wanted to thank them. I also had a chance to see some of our snow plowing operations on Route 33, the DOT. Extraordinary what they've been doing. And it was very important to keep Route 33 open because that is a gateway to one of our major hospitals, ECMC. So we had to make sure that the doctors and nurses and professionals could get to their jobs, as well as clearing a path for ambulances and other emergency vehicles to get to the hospitals as well. So I had a chance to go thank them. Also stopped by the Maston Avenue Armory to talk to the men and women of the National Guard who've come in from all over the state, have been deployed there, over 400 strong. More are on the way, and we're going to continue having them involved in our missions, search and rescue, plowing, traffic enforcement, bring food and water to our warming shelters and to our first responders, as well as medical transport to get people where they need to go. And in fact, one such case, we had a situation where the head of surgery at ECMC was trapped in a vehicle with his elderly mother, and they're running out of fuel, and they are rescued by our state fire teams as well, who have been doing an extraordinary job. I don't think a lot of people talk about the state fire teams, but they have been everywhere, really the backbone of this operation for us. So that is what I just witnessed on the ground this morning. I'm in downtown Buffalo. We'll continue to be here. And as much as we can see the skies right now, we know that the storm is coming back. We're expecting another 6 to 12 inches. And in the south towns, the southern part of Erie County, a little bit south of here, they had 30 to 40 inches of snow overnight. So anyone who declares victory and says it's over, it is way too early to say this is at its completion of. Maybe the severity is downplaying now, and right now it's not as bad as it had been over the last couple of days, but it is still a dangerous situation to be out. And that is why the driving bans and county executive and the mayor can address what's going on in their municipalities, but the driving bans that we have here at the state level, the New York State Thruway Authority closed from the Pennsylvania border all the way to Henrietta near Rochester. That is because we still have scores and scores of vehicles that were abandoned when people left during the storm, or just in a ditch they can't possibly get out. We have had snowplows, major snowplows, and rescue vehicles. I saw them myself in ditches buried in snow. So those circumstances are still difficult. We need to have the roads open to continue plowing and salting and removing all those vehicles. So the thruway will remain closed until further notice. We're assessing right now what the conditions will be over the next few hours and decide when we can get it open safely. Also closed are the routes 190, the Route 400, 219, and Route 5. Those are the main arterials that the state is responsible for. Back to the search and rescue, our teams alone in the county and the city have their own stories. We had over 550 rescues, transporting people all over, people from out of town who had no idea what they were in for. It's extraordinary. The people in Williamsville and Christmas Eve rescued by a plow team of family of six was rescued. It was a very frightening experience for all of them, and I'm so grateful that we had our plow drivers literally involved in the rescue as well, and that goes to the testament of the hardworking state workers and local officials and partners we had working as well. So the National Guard's on the ground. We have the weather forecast, not that great, but it's improving. And I also want to mention what's going on in Watertown, another site in the state that we're responsible for assisting with, in constant communication with their leadership team, the county and the mayor of Watertown. They're continuing to get more snow. Another 3 inches per hour is coming down, and some of the roads in that area are closed. So I just want to say a couple things. This has been a joint effort, and I want the people of Western New York to know who are frustrated that we are working so hard, and the people around us are working so hard, and I'm grateful for all of them. But if you're that mom at home with kids who've been out of power for a long time, that was me not that many years ago. I know the experience. It is frightening. It is, exasperating. And you're just saying, when is this going to end? I understand that pain and that frustration intensely. And we'll be getting through this together very soon. I feel confident of that. But the most important thing is, please stay at home for the next day. Luckily, the kids are off school. Otherwise, we would have been having to deal with the loss of learning, and also making sure that, since today is a holiday and over the weekend was a holiday, it's a big travel weekend. But hopefully those of you who aborted your plans to travel out of state will continue to be safe and stay off the roads so we can continue to rescue people, get them safe, and make sure that the roads are clear so we can reopen our community as soon as humanly possible. That is our desire here today. Mayor Byron Brown, I want to thank you again for all the work that you have done. And again, I had a chance to see the Buffalo PD in operation. These people are working so hard. They're so dedicated. And what they've had to see and witness over the last few days with the fatalities that we've been talking about it is just extraordinary to know what they go through. They're all human beings as well, and this has to have an effect on them. And they were also separated from their families. So continue to give our gratitude to the Buffalo Police Department, their SWAT teams, their rescue teams, and everyone else. And also Rochester has sent people. Rochester Police Department is here. Our National Guard is here from Rochester, from Niagara County, from Syracuse as well. So this is an all-hands-on-deck from the state of New York to help the people of Buffalo and Western New York all together. So, Mayor Byron Brown.
Thank you very much, Governor Hochul, and thank you for your great leadership, your coordination, your communication. I have been in constant contact with Governor Hochul directly, as well as the Commissioner of Homeland Security, the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation, and the Superintendent of State Police. I thank them for the support of resources that they have provided to the City of Buffalo. We have also been in constant and close communication with County Executive Mark Polenkars, and I thank County Executive Polenkars for his support and communication as well. The focus of the city's operations have been on life safety, plowing to get to motorists that have been stranded in vehicles, plowing to help emergency personnel get to emergency medical service calls, and working very closely with National Grid to help National Grid get to power stations and other areas so that they can restore power in the city of Buffalo. At one point, we had more than 20,000 without power in the city of Buffalo. That number is now under 10,000. We continue to work very aggressively with National Grid and other partners to open up areas that they need to get to. National Grid has provided a list of locations to the city of Buffalo that they need to access. We've been working not only with city plows, but state resources and county support to get to those locations in the city of Buffalo so that we can restore power as quickly as possible. Governor Hochul talked about the danger and frustration of being in homes without power. There are some people that have been without power in their homes since Friday. We know that. I myself and my family were without power. I can tell you at one point, the temperature in our home got down to about 40 degrees. It was very uncomfortable. We had to layer up. We had our 5-year-old great-nephew and 6-year-old great-niece with us. So we certainly understand the challenges that so many families are going through and the frustration that people are facing. As the governor said, the driving ban is still in effect in the city of Buffalo. We are asking people to stay off the roads. The Buffalo police have literally, in a variety of different ways, provided hundreds of rescues and have rescued many stranded motorists in the city of Buffalo. In some of these circumstances, some of these people might not have survived if it weren't for the efforts of first responders to rescue them from vehicles. Governor Hochul also mentioned the death toll in the city of Buffalo. The Buffalo Police Department has retrieved 18 of these precious souls. That is not an easy thing to do. Our police officers are human. It is painful to find members of your community that are deceased. Those that are deceased actually on streets in our community who were trying to walk out during storm conditions, got disoriented and passed away out in the street. To retrieve fatalities, people who passed away in cars, and to retrieve people who passed away in homes. This has been a very difficult and dangerous storm. It's been described as a once-in-a-generation storm, and everything that has been forecast, we have gotten in the city of Buffalo, and then some. Again, this has been a coordinated effort. We have worked together very closely. Fortunately, again, with these blizzard conditions, there was a lot of advance warning, gave us the opportunity to plan together, to put out messages to the community. To the majority of people that heeded those messages, I say thank you. That has helped us get streets clear, get to people that are in distress. But as I conclude and get ready to turn things over to County Executive Polenkars, I want to make it very clear that we need people to stay off the roads. You will still get stuck out there. Many streets in the city of Buffalo are still impassable. We have plows on mains and secondaries. We're into residential streets now, but the driving conditions are still very difficult. The driving ban is still in place. Please do not drive in the city of Buffalo. Now I am going to turn things over to my other partner in government, County Executive Mark Polenkars.
Thank you, Mayor. And on behalf of the people of Erie County and our team, I want to thank everyone in the city of Buffalo, from Buffalo PD, Buffalo Fire, Buffalo Department of Public Works, who've been working so hard in what we described as the worst conditions we've ever seen. So thank you to your team for all that you're doing, and especially to all the first responders and law enforcement out there in the sad task they've had to do of retrieving bodies, not only in the city, but fellow police officers outside of the city in Amherst and Cheektowaga. And to the governor, of course, thank you. She has been here. She's had her teams on the ground. We have, there's so many agencies, so many acronyms, I can't say them all, but I do want to thank the governor for calling up everyone possible to assist us. And I also have to give a shout out to our friends and colleagues across New York State. Nassau County has reached out to us and is sending a group right now of search and rescue. So to County Executive Bruce Blakeman in Nassau County, thank you. Adam Bello in Monroe County, County Executive there, has reached out. They're sending folks from Monroe and Rochester. Dan McCoy from Albany County, also the same thing. Albany County is sending additional assistance so that we can get the community open as quickly as possible. As the mayor noted, there's still a driving ban, of course, in the city of Buffalo, but there also is driving bans in Amherst, Cheektowaga, Evans, Hamburg, Clarence, and the city of Lackawanna. At this point, those are all going to stay into effect at least through the daylight hours and probably into the overnight hours and tomorrow morning as well. We were able to lift the driving ban in the town of West Seneca. It is a driving advisory in the town of West Seneca now. That does not mean it is easy to drive, and if you don't have to go anywhere, please don't. There are still walls of snow along some of the main roads, which make it difficult. They have to cut those down. They have to expand roads from curb to curb. It hasn't happened totally yet, but after consultation and the request of West Seneca Supervisor Gary Dixon, we did agree to lift the driving ban for the town of West Seneca. As I noted at the 9:30 press conference, the Erie County Department of the Erie County Department of Health Medical Examiner's Office has confirmed 25 deaths across all of Erie County. Those also include those in the city of Buffalo. There are some the city of Buffalo may have that our Department of Health has not been able to confirm yet and are in the process of confirmation. As was referred to me last night by the health commissioner, last night was a very bad night. As we know, we had 12 additional deaths that we confirmed compared to the 13 that we had announced by 11 o'clock last night. And many of those came in the late night, overnight hours, and our team from the medical examiner's office had to work with the area hospitals as well as what was received at the morgue to try to confirm those. And it was a tough night, and we do expect that there will be more as there are additional individuals that are found across our community. I can just say the same thing on behalf of myself. Our Commissioner of the Department of Public Works, William Gary, is here. Stay off the roads. The driving ban is in place not to inconvenience you. It's to help us get through this as quickly as possible, to open up communities so that we can get in and do what we need to do so that we can open up as fast as possible. But we are still getting reports of individuals who are not only going out on the roads, but getting stuck. Here we are. Storm started on Friday. We know people want to get out, but there are people who are going out, and we don't think for really a good apparent reason, who are getting stuck on roads that we had previously cleared or were attempting to clear. And all you're doing is hindering our efforts to respond, including, most importantly, life-saving response. We had to dig out and help get a number of ambulance companies so that they could get their ambulances back in service. We have ambulances coming as mutual aid from outside of the Erie County, but if we send them to a place, if somebody's having a heart attack or a major issue and they can't get down the road because now someone's stuck again, you could cost somebody's life. So please, stay home. And once again, thank you, Governor, for all that you're doing and the team is doing. It is making this operation at least faster from a standpoint of having every available equipment and apparatus and people that we can. The snow, when it fell, was with a vengeance, with a ferocity, and during that period when we had to pull all the troops off, it was the worst I've ever seen. And I did live through the blizzard of '77. So thank you for all the work that they're doing.
Thank you.